boys and mirrors, welcome to AC Studio. In this video, we're gonna look at the Ultramarines Terminator Captain. Now, this figure is gonna give me a good idea what to expect because I've ordered Ultramarines Terminator to be released 2 months time, and the design of these Terminators will, give me a good idea what is good and bad about the latest Terminator figures. I haven't got the Black Angels Terminator, so I don't know. So some of you may already watch other YouTubers' video, probably get an idea. But for me, I have no idea. So I basically reviewed this from scratch, so I can give you my honest opinion on what I think. And of course, this figure doesn't mean it is or it will be exactly the same as the upcoming Terminators. Anyway, let's have a look at the box and then we will open it. And honestly, I have not much expectation on the Terminator Captain because look at the figure. I don't really like the look of it, and generally I didn't really expect too much as compared to these figures that I got here, right? But I still got it because I need a Terminator Captain. I haven't got a Terminator Captain in my army, so that's why I have to get one. I think it looks really good, and the figure is actually quite heavy as well. Alright, let's open it, and that's how it looks like in the plastic container. Alright, not many accessories, but I think it's good enough. And before we look at the figure, let's have a look at the accessories. So we are given a bolter, 2 sets of exchangeable hands, and the beautiful sword. And for the exchangeable hands, give you a pair of hands, holding a bolter, and also a pair of hands that holding the sword. So you can see this figure only provided with 4 exchangeable hands, but these hands are different to the hands of the, for example, the Honor Guard and other figures, because these hands comes with details. And look at those details, very nice details. And same as that one, very nice. They put a wash on it as well. Looks really nice. So it is probably one of the best looking hands I've ever seen from joytoy warhammer figures. I love the weathering on the bolter. Look at it. What joytoy has done is they actually highlighted with the silver edges on the bolter itself. I really like this dark kind of gunmetal color anyway. And the soft plastic belt, which is not really being useful anyway. It's very short, so I don't know, like he can hold it like that, like a handbag or something. Anyway, like that. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the only thing I'm not too sure of though, how come the nozzle, right, the hole is so small? So if I look at the miniatures, right, this is one of the miniatures that I paint, and the bolters, right, the holes supposed to be a little bit bigger, right? That looks really small. Look at that. So I'm not too sure why. The sword is very different from other sword that I have looked at before. In particular, I did mention that the sword is rather short, such as the Honor Guard. It's very short, so proportionally looks really awkward. But this one looks really good. It got this Exterminators, recess word as well onto the sword, and that is a big sword. Looks really good, very big. And I think proportionally it looks really good, the figure. I'll show you later. And look at those details as well. And I really love this silver part of it. And eventually, it gradually become a darker silver, right? So I really love this kind of painting by joytoy. joytoy always done nice painting on the weapons. And you can see the black wash on the skull emblem as well. And, the handle, very nice color. Yeah, generally everything looks really good on the sword. Very nice. Alright, let's put the sword on the figure and see how it looks like. This exchangeable hand is actually very hard. It's not easy to put in. There are 2 ways to do it. So, some people suggest to put it in hot water. So what I usually do, I'll use the tip of the pencil or whatever, and then just put it in there, squeeze it in there, and just open it a little bit like that. And then I just pull it out. And before it retracts back into it, I'll just squeeze it in there. So did it, and like that. It's actually quite simple, you know. Put it back on the board joint, should be easy. Yep, very easy, good. And then put the bolter in this hand as well. And you can see the way the hand hold the gun handle looks really accurate, looks really good. So something that have improved on recent figures. Look at that. It looks realistic. It looks like it's really holding the gun, you know. Look at it, very nice. So joytoy have improved on all this aspect of the design. Whoops. Okay, this piece always fall down. It's alright. First, let's have a look at the details. So the details, right? Then the first thing we look at is we got this like headpiece on the head of the armor, on the top of the armor, right? And this headpiece is very different from other headpieces you can find in the other figures. But I think it looks really, really good. You got this like, you know, silver kind of like metallic colors. And then we got this imperial wing emblem on it, and I think it looks really, really good. And you can see they got these like see-through areas at the back, so that looks really, really good as well. So everything looks great. The back looks similar, doesn't have an emblem, but it looks good. So very simple. And this piece is, you know, stuck on the armor, right? So this is actually quite solid, and they got this very nice, I don't know, targeting, you know, system or whatever, detail on the head as well. The headpiece is okay. It's not as good as other figures, but it looks decent. The body itself, you know, got this nice rub, you know, you got all this black wash on it, looks really good as well. And then you got the apron piece as well here, you know, it's pretty still all stuck as one piece together though. They got this little dagger, very nice as well. And you pull out, right? So this and that accessories comes with the figure together. So yep, look at that. Very nice. So you got this eagle head on the handle as well, very nice. Sword, and you can put this back here, very easy, very good, very nice. You see these patterns on the side armor as well. On the other side, nothing on it, but you got a purity seal, and got this very nice decoration on the legs. Look at that. I really love this silver edging on it, and I love that as well. Look at the lead protection piece here, and that, you know, ultramarines, and got this like 4 bolts on it, ultra. Everything looks very nice on this figure. It's relatively simple. And on the shoulder pad as well, look at this, like very nice white and red shoulder pad design. The ultramarines icon is just a print. It's not, you know, raised details or anything like that, but that's okay. The pipe, you know, nice detail, nicely painted. Soft plastic as well. Yeah, and the hand as well, you know, you got this nice silver edging as well. On the other hand as well, same detail. And on the other shoulder, you see that it's a very nice kind of like stone look. I know it's not stone, but I don't know what they call. You know, this great kind of like emblem, skull emblem on this shoulder. Very nice. And that is something that is quite unique as compared to other figures that I see. You know, other figures got everything is always gold or silver or copper, whatever. But that is something that I really like. The exhaust area, very thick outline, and I really love this cape. And the shape looks very unique and got this like white edging on it. Looks really nice. Look at the bottom as well. You know, you got this really nice patterns on the edges as well. And in terms of finishes, I think the finishes on this figure is also quite nice. You know, the good thing is, you know, they have give you the black kind of like shadowing. For example, you know, on the silver edging, you see how they actually put, you know, black wash or shadowing around the edges of the silver as well. You know, a bit of shadowing on the, you know, foot. You know, and the shadowing around the arms as well. Look at this part there. They even have the highlighting on the, you know, exchangeable hands itself, and black wash on it. You see, looks really, really good. You know, I'm actually quite impressed with this figure so far. And look at the back. You can see the shadowing is actually quite obvious. It's actually quite nicely done. You see, it's actually a lighter color. Gradually, it becomes darker on the recess. On the cape as well, and also at the back, you see at the back they put, you know, the brown wash on the recess as well, and just a tiny bit of over painted white. And even the pipe there looks really good. You know, everything looks fine. Painting on that looks good. You know, not perfect. You know, a bit of like, I can see there a bit of I don't know, a black kind of wash, but you probably cannot see it under the light. Here on the white part of it, bit of red paint over the white. and just a little bit of brown wash there. I wish there was a little bit more, but otherwise that is fine. I think there are nothing that doesn't have any highlighting or any misted highlighting over the whole figure, as compared to this figure there, right? As you seen in the last video, it seems like they haven't finished the wash on the figure, but this one is perfect. You know, I don't see anything missing. And in terms of articulation, the first thing I look at obviously is the shoulders. As you know, I got really annoyed by the joytoy shoulders. Surprisingly, right, it got a very good articulation if I move that arm out, right, and move that arm out as well. So if I push it to the max, you can see it actually opened up quite well. Looks perfect. This is absolutely amazing. Like, and also check out the joints. The joints, apparently it seems like the joint is actually much more thicker as compared to those typical, you know, Space Marine figures, right? And I'm very confident actually moving this arm without much issues. There are no clicking mechanism on it, but that is fine. You know, you can really move it around. I feel very confident with it, right? And the angle is stunning. You know, look at it. You know, at first I look at it, I was like, I wonder, can it really do that? But wow, and look at it. You know, I was really surprised it can really move out. But once I move it up to here, you see I cannot able to move it out simply because this part here is blocked by the armor here. So unfortunately that's due to the nature of the design. If I move my arm here, you see it doesn't, you know, clash with the body. You can force it if you like, you can force it, but if I force it too much, right, I'm afraid that I may break the joint. I'm not too sure, but you can say I can force it, right? You can actually open up that much. But no, I don't want to do that. Anyway, I'm scared. And the design is actually quite different from the earliest figures that I got, right? Let's say if I compare to the Terminator, Great Knight's Terminator, the joint is rather small, so it's based on the Space Marine type kind of like joint. And also this piece, and of course the shoulder pad here, attached by a rubber type kind of like connector. So it's actually wobbly. You notice that what they did is they still have a soft rubber band, but the rubber band design is different from the other one. The piece of this rubber, you can see on this rubber here, you see this piece go all the way down and attached to that. Shoulder pad is actually, you know, higher than the arm itself, so you can see the shoulder here doesn't go all the way up, and they have a gap in between. So what happens is if you move the arm, so you got a much bigger gap here like that. So you see when I move it like that, you see it move really well. And like this one, you see it doesn't really move out much, right? Because first, there's not much gap left between the shoulder and the pad, and also because the rubber is not as long as this one, right? So there's not much kind of a gap. There's not much kind of a gap when you move the arm. So usually the shoulder and the arm always stick together very close to each other because it's very tight. So it is, to me, I don't know whether it is an improvement or because of the nature of this figure they have to design this way. And I wish, you know, the Great Knights, you know, or future figures, Terminator armor, can do that same as well. So I'm not too sure. And it has the bicep swivel, and then you got this like double elbow joint, but it can only do 90 degrees. A little bit more than 90 degrees can be like that as well. Not bad. That's the max you can do. And yeah, ball joint, you know, wrist. And then the mid-torso joint is 360, and then you got this waist ball joint, but a little bit tricky to twist it too much. Yeah, because I got these accessories here blocking it, but you can try to do it anyway. So it actually clashes with the armor here. So you know, if you want to, you know, move that, you can move that way, but if you move that, you can't. And this piece is actually very soft, so it's only around 1 millimeter thick. Even though it got the side armor, right? You see the legs can kick up like that one. So on the sideway, it's pretty good. And then you kick forward. Let's see if I can kick up that way. I move it up. Yep, it can kick, well, almost 90 degrees. So that is a maximized range of kicking up the legs. But of course, you know, as I mentioned before in other videos, Terminators don't use the legs often. They don't kick people. Anyway, double knee joint looks alright, and then you can even do 90 degrees. You can do this. Look at that. That's amazing. You see, that is more than 90 degrees. So this is actually really well done. The ankle joint is perfect. It can move down like that. That's what I really like. It can move up a little bit, but it, yeah, but of course it blocked by that. So 90 degrees would be like that, and you only can move up that much. And you got this toe joint, which can move up, say 30 degrees. not up to 45 degrees, but it's good enough anyway. It's a Terminator, so you don't expect too much out of the Terminator. In terms of size, the Terminator, as compared to, for example, the Chaplain, right? Side by side, you realize the Chaplain is actually a little bit smaller compared to the Terminator Captain, but they both are in Terminator armor, right? So I don't know why there's such a huge size difference here. The 𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗀 is still a decent size comparison with the Terminator Captain. And then we compare with the Great Knight Terminator. So in terms of height, they are pretty close to each other. But this figure is still, wider compared to this one. And then compare with the Chaos Terminator. So you see the height is still pretty good, but it is obviously much wider as well. Of course, the look of this looks really amazing. When you look back in this Terminator, realize this is actually relatively weak. So I think something may have changed. I just wonder if the latest Terminator represent the latest, evolution of the Terminator's figures itself. We know joytoy has, Intercessor 1, 2, 3. So does it mean the latest, Terminators, a Terminator number 2? I don't know, because when I compare with all the Terminators that I got just now, right, they're all smaller than this figure. They all seems to be a little bit skinnier than this Terminator. But in terms of proportion, right, this Terminator looks right, and that, if you look at the Chaos, for example, right, it doesn't look right now when you're looking back to it now. So again, as I mentioned in the previous video, when you got things to compare, you can really see the differences here, right? If you know anything about that, please let me know. I'm interested to find out. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I didn't expect much on this figure, and I got it because I haven't got a Terminator Captain, so I just got it for my army anyways. The figure is actually quite a big figure, unlike the previous first generation of Terminators figure, just like the Chaos Terminators, for example. The joints are really poorly designed. It was really weak, but this joint on this figure is simply excellent. I just have no complaints. Unlike the Chaplain and the Chaplain Ancient, right? I don't see any major silly, stupid issues. To me, this figure is relatively simple in design, yet it is so simple that, it actually gives you more fun in a way. So that is why I say less is more, because having a lot of stuff happening in a figure not necessarily means a good thing. So, articulation, finishes, playability, and price, I think all really well balanced. And that is why less is more. And now I have a very high expectation on the upcoming Terminators figures. I bought the whole set of Ultramarines Terminators, so looking forward for those figures. Now comes to the end of this video. And please, if you like this video, please like it. And also subscribe me if you haven't subscribed me. And I got some acid ring figures to be reviewed soon. Thanks for watching this video, and I speak to you next time. Bye for now.